Hey everybody, welcome back. We are walking to our camping site. Deb is leading the way, and we are going to be, well, I keep saying we, but really me. We'll be learning how to pitch a tent and, the different materials you may need when you are going to go camping, since it is camping season. Tia, how familiar are you with pitching a tent?
I mean, I know how to do it. I'm not the best at it. I don't know if anybody remembered our episode of Upper Michigan Today from a little over a year ago when we were preparing to go to Isle Royale. Turns out I need help. Because, like I said, when I go camping, usually other people do it well, it's not for me, but I don't go camping alone. I go camping with people, and they just... I never get on, tent pitching duty. I'm usually on camp cooking duty.
Oh, camp cooking duty.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, everybody, we are joined here with Katie Urban. She is another park ranger here. And Katie, I want to thank you for joining us really quickly as I keep swatting away the flies and stuff.
Tis the season here in the UP.
Yeah, I'm not waving at you guys. I'm trying to get the flies out.
They're social creatures. They want to go camping with us.
Very much so, and I'm annoyed already. So, so first off, for somebody like me who's never been camping before, what are some camping etiquettes that somebody should, know about?
Yeah, so definitely. So if you've never been camping before, it's kind of one of those things where people come out for all sorts of different reasons, but knowing that someone might want to be out here to kind of just connect with nature, right? Get outside, enjoy their resources. They come out this way here, and if you're going to be set up and doing your thing, you don't want to be kind of infringing on anyone else's thing. You want to make sure you're taking your time, being quiet, being respectful of your neighbors. You can be social and chat with people still, but just be aware that, other people are doing their thing too. Yep. So everyone's kind of out here for searching for their own thing.
Cool,
yeah.
Cool. I'm getting bit up out here, man.
So one thing to always have with you when you do go camping for real this summer, bug spray. Perhaps a citronella candle. Those are great things to have handy. Best to be prepared. Camping, you always have to pack so much more gear than you think, because when I go camping anyway, I don't want to have to go to the grocery store because I forgot milk or something for breakfast. So it's best to be prepared. If somebody isn't, what kind of amenities do you have on site for them to pick up any last minute needs, like firewood?
Yeah, so the park here has different options for things, and the nice thing about Van Riper State Park is you're not far away from town. So if you did forget something, you can always run into town or run into the local area to pick up whatever you might need. Firewood, groceries, that kind of stuff, depending on where you want to go and what kind of experience you want to have. Yeah.
So I am really eager to, get started into our camping one-on-one course. So, Kate, you have a lot of things here, right? So can you kind of go into detail as to what you have here laid out on the table for us? And then, I guess we'll start, going from there.
Yeah, so I just basically brought your really basic camping setup. So if you've never camped before or you're looking to get into it, you don't need a ton of stuff to get started, And one of the first things you might need is a tent, especially in the western Upper Peninsula in the springtime, because there's a lot of mosquitoes out and you don't have to sit inside of mosquito heaven here and get eaten alive. So we have our tent. I just brought along a sleeping bag and a sleeping pad because you want to be comfortable while you're camping. And then that's kind of what I brought for our basic setup. And so if you want to give it a try, we can see how you do with our tent here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get going. So I am
let's see. Let's see you pitch the tent.
Okay, Kate, hold on. Okay. Hold on.
Yes, you've got some different pieces here. So you've got your very first bit that you're going to need is your actual tent part.
Okay. Oh.
So it's got the mesh.
This is the tent. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you've got your tent, you've got your rain fly, you've got your tent poles, and your tent stakes. And you want to make sure you have all those things when you get started. And you don't want to have your first time setting up your tent be the moment that you arrive at the campsite. So if you buy one, set it up at your house, make sure you've got all your pieces, make sure you got all your stuff, and then you know what you need if anything was missing or broken. You're not in the middle of the woods and you're like, oh, no, I don't have this,
don't
so
have what I need.
Set it up ahead of time. So we're going to have you kind of run through that. So we're going to take this piece first,
okay,
and you're going to lay it out on the ground. So you can see you're gonna wanna find somewhere that's kind of flat. You don't wanna be laying on something that's, you know, where your head's gonna be tilted one way or another, you're gonna be rolling around at night. And then I always do a quick glance upwards to see if there's any trees with hanging branches, just to make sure that you're gonna be safe throughout the night. And they do a pretty good job here at Van Riper to make sure that those branches are not gonna be hanging over your site. So go ahead and take hold of this piece here.
Okay.
And we're gonna go ahead and lay it out. And you want the meshing side up.
The meshing side up. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I spread this out too? And
Yeah, we're gonna make sure it's kind of flat.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. And the way this tent is set up, there's actually 3 different stakes that go with it, and 2 of them are connected to try and make it easier for us.
Cool.
You can kind of see it's shaped like a V, and this tent is gonna give you more room for your head and less room for your feet. So we know that our head's gonna be over here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our tent stakes and go ahead and setting that part up next.
Cool. Okay. Exciting times. Exciting times to be alive.
And sometimes you're doing this fast when you're trying to get away from the bugs, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm about to karate chop these mosquitoes, man. They are eating me up.
All right, so you can grab this side here.
Okay.
And you kind of see this whole thing's on a bungee system, so it wants to set up itself to straighten itself out. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on this side, you work on that side.
Okay.
And these 2 stakes are connected in the center.
Okay.
And all tents are different.
So am I grabbing this?
Yep,
this
go ahead
end?
and straighten them out
Okay.
until they connect.
Okay.
And you'll see how they kind of want to pull together.
Yeah.
And give ourselves some tension. Perfect. All right. Now, the trick with this tent is you want to make sure this little piece is facing down. And you can kind of see how it wants to open up like this.
Yeah.
So these pieces are going to come down and they're going to go into the feet down there. So go ahead and walk them down that way.
Okay.
And we're just going to set it down on the ground here for a second. I'm going to show you how this works. So we've got this first piece here. It's got this little edge piece and it's going to stick right in here and slide. And then you're going to do that to this side over there. Yep. There you go.
Cool.
And now the tricky part is when you come over to do that on this side, and like you said, it's easier if you have an extra hand to help, but you can hold on to the corner here. And as you push, you want to make sure your end doesn't fall out over there. And then you're going to drop it in this end, just like that side there. Just make sure it doesn't spring up and get you in the face.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
Cool. We are learning, everybody. Well, we have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be doing more stuff, and I'm sure that by the time we come back, we may have a little bit more progress for you. So stick around. We'll be back in 3 minutes.